You know that feeling when your brain has way too many tabs open? Well, today we're going to hit close on all that chaos. We are diving deep into Trello, a tool that can take your tangled up to-do lists and turn them into a super clear visual roadmap for, well, pretty much anything, from huge team projects to your own personal goals.
I mean, if you're constantly fighting missed deadlines and you've got that nagging feeling that you've forgotten something really important, you are definitely not alone. That whole sense of disorganization, it usually comes from not having a good system to see all the moving parts at once. And that is exactly the problem Trello was built to solve. Think of it as your digital command center.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to build your Trello knowledge from the ground up. We'll start with its super simple three-part method, then we'll get into the details of a Trello card, which honestly is where the real magic happens. After that, we'll talk about mastering a workflow, check out some new features beyond the classic board, and then we'll wrap up by figuring out if Trello is the right fit for you. So how does Trello actually work? Well, its real power is in its simplicity. To get started, you only need to understand three core ideas that make up its entire structure. The easiest way to picture it, just imagine a giant, super-powered digital whiteboard. Okay, so it all starts with the board. This is your highest level view, right? It's the main container for an entire project. So you might have one board for a new product launch, another one for planning a vacation, or maybe one just for your personal goals for the year. Now, on that board, you create lists. Think of these as the columns that organize your project into different stages. And they're not just simple categories. They actually represent a process, a workflow that your tasks are going to physically move through from the beginning all the way to the end. And then, inside those lists, you have your cards. A card is the basic unit of work. It's the individual task, the idea. It's basically a digital sticky note. And these are the little guys you'll be dragging and dropping between your lists as you get stuff done. So boards, lists, and cards, that gives you the big picture, 10,000-foot view. But the real power of Trello, the secret sauce, is hidden inside each and every card. What you see on the board is just the title. Clicking on a card opens up a whole world of detail. Seriously, a single card can hold everything you need for a task. You can write out detailed descriptions, create checklists for all the little subtasks, set due dates, attach files, assign team members, use color-coded labels. You can even have a whole conversation right there in the comment section. And these features are what make your whole board so easy to understand in just a single glance. Those colored labels let you categorize tasks. Maybe red means high priority or blue is for the design team. And when you add a due date, Trello doesn't just send a reminder, the date itself actually changes color as the deadline gets closer, creating this really useful visual sense of urgency. For those bigger, more complicated tasks, the checklist feature is a total game changer. It lets you break a huge project down into smaller, more manageable steps, and you get this really satisfying progress bar that fills up as you check things off. Plus, you can attach any file you need directly to the card, from your computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever. So all your resources live in one place, right where you need them. This is where the collaborative side of Trello really starts to shine. You can assign members to a card, so it's crystal clear who owns what. And the comments section, it becomes this living history of the task, with time-stamped updates and discussions, which can seriously cut down on all those messy back-and-forth email chains. Okay, so let's see how all these pieces build into a really smooth workflow. The most fundamental action in Trello is just moving cards from left to right across your lists. It's so simple, but that one motion creates this incredibly powerful visual of your progress, tracking a task's journey from just an idea all the way to completion. You know, this core concept is based on the Kanban method, a system that is classic, super simple, and incredibly effective. At its most basic, you just have three lists: to do for all the tasks waiting to be started, doing for what you're working on right now, and done for all your completed work. It's just so intuitive and satisfying, and it gives everyone a really clear picture of what's going on. But that simple system, that's just the starting point. If you really want to level up your own personal productivity, you can expand this into a more powerful 5-list workflow that's designed to bring some serious focus to your day. So here's how it works. Organize Me is basically your inbox, a brain dump for every single idea that pops into your head. To Do holds the tasks you plan to get to this week. On Hold is for anything that's paused. But the real key to this whole system is the doing list. It should only ever contain the 1 to 3 absolute priorities for today. That one rule forces you to focus on what actually matters. Now, Trello has also evolved way beyond just the classic board.
They've introduced new ways to see your work that shift the focus from a shared project space to a much more personal, time-based perspective.
So while the classic board view is amazing for team projects, the planner and inbox views are designed specifically for you. The inbox is like a private staging area where you can capture tasks before you even decide which board they belong on. Then, the planner view lets you drag those tasks right onto a calendar to schedule your day or your week.
And look, Trello's real flexibility comes from what they call power-ups. You can think of them like apps that you install on your board to add all sorts of new features. With power-ups, you can add a full calendar view, create custom fields on your cards, or connect deeply with tools you already use like Slack, Google Drive, and even Jira.
So with all these features and a million other tools out there, the big question remains, is Trello the right choice for you? Let's break down where it really shines.
A really common comparison is Trello versus its sibling tool, Jira. The breakdown is pretty simple. Trello is all about simplicity and its visual drag-and-drop interface, which makes it perfect for collaboration across all kinds of different teams. Jira, on the other hand, is an absolute powerhouse, built for technical teams, especially in software development. It has a much steeper learning curve, but it offers way more robust features for things like issue tracking and complex agile workflows.
So, given that difference, who are the people and the teams that are just going to get the most value out of Trello's flexible visual approach?
Trello is an amazing fit for startups that need to move fast, for creative and marketing teams managing visual campaigns, for students organizing their assignments, and really for anyone who just wants to bring a clear visual system to their personal productivity. Its biggest strength is just how adaptable and user-friendly it is.
And that brings us to the final, most critical point of all. A tool, even one as great as Trello, is only as effective as the habit you build around it. You have to actually make time to organize the system itself. So I'll leave you with this question. Are you ready to schedule just 5 minutes at the end of each day to organize your board for tomorrow? Because that small commitment, that's the real secret to turning chaos into clarity.